such an exciting day. We're so excited to see all of you here. So welcome to the Penfield grand opening. And I just have to say, this is just great. Again, my name is Cecile Bedore, and I'm the Director of Planning and Economic Development for Mayor Coleman. I'm also the Executive Director of the Housing and Redevelopment Authority. I want to just give one more round of applause to our performer, who is David, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, sorry.
Yay, David.
David Sutton. Great. Very good. Just beautiful from McNally Smith. Thanks so much for coming over. So on behalf of Mayor Coleman and the HRA Board, I want to welcome you and thank you all for joining us for the grand opening of the Penfield. If you attended the groundbreaking of the Penfield back in 2012, you'll remember it was one of the hottest days of the year. So now we're welcoming you back on one of the coldest days, but in one of the hottest properties in downtown St. Paul. So in addition to Mayor Coleman, I would like to welcome you also on behalf of our former HRA Chair, Dave Thune, our new Chair, Amy Brenmoen, who I believe is here. Is Amy here somewhere? There you go, right. And we have Commissioner Dan Bostrom, who's here as well. And Dan is right here, thank you very much. And the rest of the board members who couldn't be here today. In 2006, when Mayor Coleman appointed me as PED Director, one of my first stops was this incredibly beautiful sales center for the Penfield condo project. At the time, it was a high-rise, high-end condo project. Things were just great, but it was 2006, and we all know what happened towards the end of 2006 and into 2007, and that whole market crashed, not just in our region, but across the country. And so, of course, we're led by a scrappy mayor with a lot of tenacity and a lot of leadership who said, let's just keep going and figure out a way to make this happen. So after a long struggle with lots of fits and starts, we finally got to this point where we were able to close and build the project. We have 254 microwave apartments here, along with some excellent amenities that you'll hear about a little bit later. This is one of 9 new projects along the LRT line. It's the first project, a city-built project that is built under the St. Paul Sustainability Policy. That is a really big deal for the city of St. Paul in terms of moving the mayor's sustainability efforts forward, and we're really proud that we're one of the first projects under that initiative. This will achieve a LEED Silver certification. There you go. And we anticipate that this building will use about 60% less energy than a typical building of this type, so it's a pretty significant savings. I want to say also that this project was recognized last year with the Best in Real Estate Award from the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal for multifamily housing. Again, kind of first for the city of St. Paul ourselves, so we're very excited about that. So we have 3 speakers today to give some remarks, but there's a lot of people to thank, and I know this is kind of the boring part, but it's really the most important part for the people in this room who have spent hours and hours and hours making this project happen. So first, our investor, the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust, our commercial tenant, Lunds, who you'll hear from in just a moment, but Trace Lunds and his leadership to recognize this open market for him to take advantage of, Jennifer Kent, Mike Edgett, Mike McRae, who you'll hear from in a moment, who is going to be the Lunds manager next door, Chris Witterman, Aaron Sorensen, who's also here, and their agent Jim Voss with Crescent Partners. We had just an incredible lending and financing partners. We have our creative and steadfast lenders who kept helping us figure this out, led by David Duran, who's here, I believe, and Ned Foster's here as well, Tim Larkin, Betty Stein, Lisa Liu, Shar Robert, the great team at HUD, Dexter Sidney, Paul Waxlin, Dan Burish, and many others. We had the regional representative from HUD come in here, and he was just blown away by what HUD is able to achieve with some of their financing. And he believes this really sets a standard for folks out there. We also had our state funders that we couldn't have done without this, DEED, and the Met Council, Commissioner Katie Clark, Meredith Udoybach, Kristen Lukes, Roy Murphy, Met Council Regional Administrator Pat Bourne, Guy Peterson, Beth Reitz, Paul Burns, Deb Jensen, and Marcus Martin. And I will say, of all those people that I just mentioned, every single one of them did actually work on this project. So it does take a lot of people to get these things done. And then, of course, we had support from our friends at Ramsey County, Commissioner Rafael Ortega, Julie Kleinschmidt, and Denise Begbadir. And then the people who did the heavy lifting and set hours and hours and hours of meetings, starting, of course, with our architect, Jack Borman, who's over here at BKV, and his fantastic team, Bruce Schwartzman, Larry Ferris, Kelly Naylor, Gretchen Camp, and Mike Kirsch. It has been a really challenging project, I would say, for our architects. We pushed really hard, and they rose to the occasion, I think, on every moment. So our general contractor, Weiss, continues to do a great job for us. Eric Weiss, Chris Craig, John Kaler, and many others, along with the hundreds and hundreds of skilled workers that were here on this site. And they made sure, the biggest thing for me was that this facade right in front of you didn't fall down. So I have lunch or breakfast every morning, or every month with Mary Chingerthal. We always sit in a certain spot so I can see whether or not that facade was still standing. So that was quite a coup. We also had great owners reps with Studio 5 architects, Linda McCracken Hunt and Daryl Laubach, who were great in terms of advising us as a new owner and developer of multifamily housing, of not necessarily knowing all the ins and outs. They were great advisors. Michael Peg and Ken Peruzek from Great Lakes Management, our asset management company. Dennis Larson and Kevin Sullivan from the University of Minnesota. We pursued a different kind of bidding on this project that we hadn't done before, and they lent their expertise to us to make sure that we covered our bases and did it right. Again, it was critical to the success of the project. Our artists have just done great work here. Unfortunately, it's not all up yet, but Robert Smart is the piece that you see in front that will be really pretty when the blue lights come up. And then Stan Mickelbust and Andrea Sears. And Andrea is the sculpture, which will be right on the corner out here, hopefully coming soon. And then the Capital River Council, again, nothing really happens in St. Paul without a lot of support from our neighborhood organizations and the folks who live in our neighborhood. I really want to acknowledge their continued support and push for this project. I would like to just give a little shout out to Larry England, also, who really did a lot of great work on the Public Art Committee. And then Village Green, you know, again, who do we hire? And Jack introduced us to Village Green, who has been nothing but incredibly professional and helpful to us. Jonathan Holtzman, Diane Batea, David Fretz, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher some of these names, Sean Zimney, Diane Tidwell, Stephanie Ballas, Gina Bachmeyer, Beth Rakapa, Stephen Vargas, and Kelly Tonke. Our legal counsel, Kennedy and Graven, Stinson, Leonard Street, Fabianski, Westra, Hart and Thompson, and Fager Benson. It's really too bad that I had to mention so many lawyers that had to help us get here, but very important. Public Finance Advisor was really critical to us as well. Kathy Aho with Springstead, Mary Bugeaud with Maxfield Research, again, really critical to help prove that market, which was here. And then our other key advisors we had, which is Brian Gorecki, David Hunt, Arkell Engineers, White Group, and Peer Engineering. I should also just take a moment, too, to just recognize, as I did at the groundbreaking, Bob Lux and the Retzik family, you know, who had this vision to begin with in terms of the project. And again, we wouldn't have gotten to this point if they hadn't seen that vision and had confidence in this market. And we appreciate that their efforts and their assistance, even when they were no longer the developer of the project. And again, I just always have to mention our great economic development partners who are here today, that we are partners in crime in terms of making sure that St. Paul moves forward. I think I saw Louis Jamboy with the Port Authority in the back, proud owner of Macy's. Matt Kramer, I don't know if Matt's here, but he's got some reps here from the St. Paul Chamber. Patrick Sieb with Riverfront Corporation. Dr. Patrick, thanks. Razul Dasmod, president of St. Paul College, St. Paul BOMA. We all kind of work together on a monthly basis and more often than that to make sure the projects like these move forward. And then again, the downtown residents, employees, and employers who, again, never waver from their support. I think Dave's calls were always make this happen, which was really helpful. So, and finally, I just want to recognize my own staff who, again, have never done anything like this before. The learning curve wasn't this, it was this. And it was this the whole way. And they really stuck with it and were great problem solvers. We're really good at understanding what they did not know and figuring out where to get those answers. So Al Carlson, Director of Housing, did an excellent job. But Marie Franchette, this caused a great deal of stress for Marie over several years, and she just did an excellent job, and I just want to personally acknowledge you, so thanks. And just a couple more, and I'm almost done, but Jenny Wolf, Patty Lilladell, and Jerry Falkson in my office were all the finance people of trying to figure this out, which of course this also would not have happened without Todd Hurley and his team over in finance to also help figure out this very complicated financing, so thanks. So, as noted, it's a really tough project. Wouldn't have happened unless our policymakers were brave and courageous, because we did get some criticism for being a developer in the private market realm. And we wouldn't be here but for Mayor Coleman, and I'd like you to welcome him to the podium.
Thanks, everyone. The one person that Cecile didn't acknowledge that probably deserves the most acknowledgement of anybody, the person that, quite frankly, this project simply wouldn't have happened but for, is Cecile Bador. Cecile, your efforts, your tenaciousness on this project, knowing how important it was to the HRA, knowing how important it was to me, but knowing how important this project was to the city of St. Paul, there were a lot of points where we could have easily have said, you know what, it's just too hard. The economy is too tough. The financing just isn't there. There are 1,000 reasons why this project couldn't have happened or shouldn't have happened. But there was one reason why it should happen, and that is because St. Paul's best days are ahead. We are on the rise, and no project represents the resurgence of the city of St. Paul than this project right here, the Penfield project. It is, for a lot of years, I've been saying, you know, 2014, you know, we've had some victories along the way. We had the Union Depot reopening in grand style. We had the farmers market lofts that opened up. We've had some new restaurants and bars and new vitality. We've had great music festivals. There's been a lot of different things that are happening, not just in downtown, but across the city of St. Paul. New bars and restaurants on the east side. Great strength in our neighborhoods like Grand Avenue. Great hope for the future of the Ford site in Highland Park. But the fact of the matter is, a city is as strong as its downtown core. And the investments that we've seen in the city of St. Paul in downtown are really coming to fruition, really coming into the point where we are creating an incredibly vibrant downtown. There's been a lot of great things that have happened over the years. You know, Dave, in his first stint on the city council in 1900, you know, was one of those folks that understood, you know, maybe we could take these old warehouses and convert them into artist housing. And let's do something really crazy. Let's make it, you know, not just something that's transitional for artists, but let's make it a permanent part of what the downtown community is. And because of that, there's a vibe that's happening in downtown that isn't happening in other places. And because of things like that, last week we got the $8 million grant from the Knight Foundation to further what's happening in the arts community in the city of St. Paul. And you think about the momentum that's building, and that's why, you know, even though we've had these victories over the year, I couldn't wait to get to 2014. Because of the fact that this building here was opening, because in just a couple of months, the Lunds grocery store, the first truly full-service grocery store in downtown in many, many years, will be opening. And that will change patterns of behavior for a lot of, not just downtown residents, but downtown workers, the 70,000+ people that are working here on a daily basis, that now can just swing by on their way through downtown and pick up some milk on the way home, or whatever it is. It's you know, it's going to be fantastic. I know my staff has already arranged for lunches to come to the salad bar and all of those things, so that's exciting. Then you think about that little project that we've been working on for over 30 years, the light rail line, which, by the way, as I was driving here today, I saw a car under its own power going down the tracks, and I went, you know what, that is very, very close. So, you know, I'm one of those folks that sometimes it's hard to see really kind of the full impact of the project, and, you know, when it's just on paper. People, you know, I've had a tour of this building when it was under construction on several occasions. But I have to say, when I walked in here today, not just into this space, but went upstairs to see some of the units and the party room, and fully understood what a fantastic project this is. I got doubly excited all over again, because this is really the future of the city of St. Paul. The residents that will be here are going to be out, they're going to be working in our city, they're going to be going to restaurants and to bars, they'll be attending the concerts, but they're going to create the kind of synergy and the momentum that will allow us to do even more things. And so as we look to the future of Macy's, we get to point to the success of this project. As we look to the opportunities on the West Publishing site, we get to show all of the things and all of the investments that we have made. And we get to show the momentum and the excitement. St. Paul is back, folks. Today we celebrate a huge milestone in that movement back to a very, very thriving, vibrant downtown that, for my money, is the best place in America to live. So congratulations to everyone that's been a part of this project. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you for your tenacity, your persistence, and your belief in the city of St. Paul. Thank you.
Bill? Boy, I said this before, but my cheeks are sprained from smiling so much here. It's what a great day. To start with, I just wanted to acknowledge two people that aren't here, but meant something very meaningful to this project. One is Sherm Rutzig, who passed away, but came, had this idea and this vision and stepped forward, and never stopped stepping forward for the city of St. Paul. He was a great person who left his mark on the city. The second person was Joan Mondale. And I remember when we walked from office to office at City Hall trying to convince other council members to support our Percent for the Arts program. And how appropriate the week that Joan passed, we can see what that kind of work brought us. Public art is a grand thing, but it's also a terribly important, and we have to have it. And in the city of St. Paul, we do have public art. We do support the arts, and it's part of the reason we're thriving. Everybody else that's worked on this, I think Cecile went through the litany. But for starters, we had the Capital River Council, who over the last 25 years kept saying, we need a grocery store downtown. We need a grocery store downtown. Every single poll we took, every survey, we need a grocery store. And then secondly, we need more people living downtown. They never stopped chanting that. And we went from one regime of the Capital River Council to the other. They all kept that same that same idea. And you can see it now. You can see the change in downtown by how many people live here, how many love living here. The leadership that we've had from Mayor Coleman in just making sure that the light rail moves through the city, to make sure that projects like the Penfield, the Farmers Market Flats, and all of Lower Town and the Artists, you're right. It's 2014, I think we've arrived. It's a great thing. Thanks again. I want to thank once again the staff, the HRA and PED staff that worked on this. Cecile, who kept this thing from dying and gave it artificial respiration dozens of times. And then the staff that came up with creative ideas to solve problems that we never envisioned, including a market crash, but made this thing happen. The financing, Todd, everybody that's worked on this deserves a huge pat on the back, and the organized labor and skilled building trades that built this and financed it. All of that came together and gave us what we've got here, which is a truly magnificent cornerstone of the city of St. Paul. So thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you to the mayor, and thank you to the city of St. Paul for the opportunity to participate in this wonderful grand opening event. It's truly an honor to be here, and we're thrilled to soon be opening our newest Lunds store right here in downtown. We're standing in a location that has some added significance for me and my family. My father-in-law, Rick Klein, served as a St. Paul police officer for over 30 years. In much of his career, he reported for work each and every day right here at this location. I'll soon have the pleasure to do that. Same thing as a general manager here at Lunds Penfield. We'll open the doors to the community on May 15th. We hope to see you all again down here for our grand opening celebration. We're excited to be a part of the renewed vitality taking place in St. Paul. Even more importantly, we're looking forward to providing a downtown community with a much-needed full-service grocery store. Like our other 23 Lunds and Byerly's stores throughout the Twin Cities and the surrounding areas, this store will be overflowing with our brand of extraordinary food, exceptional service, and passionate expertise. It will be on full display in everything from our prepared food offerings to our in-store foodie experts to partnerships with vendors like Caribou Coffee and Bachman's, who share our commitment to quality, service, and expertise. Those are the foundations that our company was built on 75 years ago, and they will continue to be the foundation for the next 75 years and beyond. We deeply appreciate what a grocery store means to a community. And for us, the opening of a new store is much more than just selling groceries. It signals the start of a deep relationship with neighborhood residents and businesses. I assure you, our team of 75 employees is looking forward to becoming an integral part of this community for years to come. I want to thank the mayor again and thank the city of St. Paul for the opportunity to be a part of this special day. And as I mentioned earlier, May 15th, we hope to see you out at our grand opening celebration. Thank you very much.
Now, everyone here in the Twin Cities are tall, and so I have to adjust this. That's the one observation I always have when I have the pleasure of visiting the Twin Cities. I have to say, it's truly my honor to be here on behalf of Village Green. Our chairman, Jonathan Holtzman, would have loved to have attended. Unfortunately, he had another engagement that he simply couldn't get out of. So it's my honor to be here as the face for Village Green. I've been with the company for about 35 years. I've seen a lot and lived to tell about it. I've been involved in many projects over the course of those years, and I'm very proud to be here today, in particular because this is probably one of the most unique buildings that we've ever been involved in. So we're very gratified, grateful to the city for selecting Village Green to allow us to collaborate with you. It's been a pleasure every step of the way. I know I've been very much behind the scenes, but those who've been on the forefront, Dave, for example, and others, constantly have communicated to me just how wonderful that collaboration was, that effort with BKV, with Weiss, with the City of St. Paul, the housing agency, and it's just been a true pleasure. So as I've told you, Village Green's been around for a very long time, about 95 years. We've been involved in the Twin Cities for more than 20 years doing multiple projects. This is the first project that I'm proud to say we've been involved in St. Paul, and boy, did we save it for the best. Very exciting. I do want to acknowledge, if I may, in addition to thanking, Cecile and Marie, Al, Mayor Coleman, for your trust and faith in allowing us to take on this project alongside you. But behind the scenes, and I think they're hiding somewhere in the crowd, every day those people who are working very hard on the lease up and the customer service to all the residents who are living here now, I'd like to acknowledge our site team here. Gina, I see you there in the crowd, Gina and Kelly, Steve, Rob, and Cy. If you could just step forward here and let everyone see your faces. Thank you for all your hard work, your tireless efforts, and obviously we've got a regional team here as well who's been very engaged and involved. Diane Tidwell, Dave First, who couldn't be here today. We also have Stephanie Balsas and Angie, you as well. Diane, I think I mentioned your name. So thank you for all of your efforts and your hard work every single day. So today, I hope that everyone takes advantage of touring this amazing building, just to see the integration of the gorgeous facade, the public safety building. I know that BKV has done quite a number of adaptive reuses, and as well as historic rehabilitation projects and ground-up construction. This, I think, is probably one of the most unique projects where there's that integration of the historic facade from the 1930s incorporated with the new building. What you see here is just a glimpse of what you're about to see when you walk upstairs or take the elevator. Hopefully those of you, I know that health and fitness is really big here in St. Paul, so you may want to take the stairs, but the elevator is an option. But what you'll see is probably the featured amenity of this building is our 18,000 square foot green roof, really garden outdoor amenity. And it really is, obviously today it's an ice sculpture, so you won't get the full benefit of the visualization of what it will be, but the brochure gives you a good representation of it. It's actually an outdoor oasis. But first and foremost, obviously the green initiative here, very important feature of the building. I think Cecile mentioned that. But to see that, please come back in the spring and summer, but you will get a glimpse of that outside the window. And it features the outdoor grill, the fire pit, dog run, among other things. Also, the inside space contains a gourmet kitchen, absolutely beautiful club room area for our residents that they're enjoying today. I think the finish and fixtures are among the most unique that I've ever seen in all of the buildings that we've been involved in. I would say an outstanding job was done on the interior design, so please enjoy that while you're up there. There's all sorts of other services and amenities that are unique to this building. I think I would safe to say that the Penfield is the premier building in downtown St. Paul. So among those services that you probably won't find elsewhere are extended services concierge. We're actually a very pet-friendly building. There are pet services, pet sitting and pet bath area. In addition to that, dog run. In addition to that, there are all sorts of concierge services that our residents can take advantage of. You know, service is number one for Village Green. That is sort of what we're known for, customer service. We've, you know, hopefully we'll win for the 5th year in a row, you know, the top customer service award for the nation, and we're very, very proud of that, and that is number one for us. So we want to make sure that the residents in the building are very happy, comfortable, and they get everything that they need. So among, I think if those of you, I see the blue brochures in your hand, I won't bore you with all the details of every amenity and service that's available in the building, but please read that, and as you walk through the building, I really do hope you'll take advantage of the tour. Take a look at the units. There's a couple of models that, again, are state-of-the-art in terms of what they offer, and the finishes are condo quality. Gorgeous wood floors. The sinks are actually undermount sinks, things that you don't typically find in an apartment community. We've had great response from the residents. I think I spotted a few that are here, and maybe they want to come and talk about how wonderful their experience is living here. Actually, I think Sarah mentioned as she was walking in that we had someone on the radio this morning talking about their experience here. So I'll wrap up in saying again, thank you very much for the trust and faith that you've placed in Village Green to operate this building. We take it very seriously, and we hope we'll continue to do a good job for you. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention 2 other people I saw representing the FL-CIO, Bobby Casper, and then I saw Harry Melander from the building and construction trades. Popped his head in, his glasses were all frosted up. I think he left again, but without them, we would not have had this as well, so thank you.
And I did turn the sound on.
Oh, that's great. You know, I have to say I laugh about the dog wash and the dog walk because much to the bane of Marie, I would go tour a lot of other high-end apartments in the region and I'd come running back to the office. We have to figure out how to add this. We have to figure out how to add this. Because ultimately, you know, we talk about this as a city project, but it really is an investment by the taxpayers. So we have taken our fiduciary responsibility to make sure that this is a successful project really seriously. And again, I just have to say it one more time, Marie. You just did a really great job.